Hello and welcome to another episode of Bare Bones Wargaming, a show with no bells, no whistles, no frills, just a man, a camera, and his game. This episode, we are going to take a look at a game from Modern War, issue number 46 from March or April this past year, and of course the Foreign Legion Paratroopers. Now, if you're sitting there going, which Foreign Legion? All I can replay is, Mon Dieu, which Foreign Legion do you think? Dun, 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 dun. Someday I should learn the words to that, because the French national anthem is a very catchy tune, I must admit. Not to turn into Ed Grimley, of course, I must say. So we're going to take a look at this game, which is consisting of a couple of different things. Also, I'm displaying, because I know sometimes my arm gets in the way. Look at this, my new pointer. Look at this. This game has a strategic map, as well as numerous mission maps. 6 of them, to be precise. So, I am displaying this. Sorry, every time I do this, I think of that scene in A Bridge Too Far, when the guy's pointing out to the general of the airborne where he's going to be and stuff, the map, and he's like, well, where are we landing? Oh, it's just over here, sir. That's got to be miles from the beach. No, a little over 8. Like, what? So, moral story, I got this new fancy pointer, so now you don't have to see my big hairy arms anymore. Whoops, earthquake. Alright, here we go. So, let's take a look here at the game. And again, we're going to dive right in just what we always do. I will say ahead of time, very important point. If you have played Crete 1941 or Objective Havana, from Objective Havana is from one of the Modern War issues, Crete is from World at War, you will see some structural similarities here with this game. You should have no trouble picking up this game if you have played either one of those. Okay, I'm not too much into modern warfare, as you guys know, probably from the videos you can tell, but I've always been a sucker for the French Foreign Legion. I don't know why. Okay, today, of course, with all the technology and internets and files and stuff, it's probably the one place in the world you probably can still vanish if you want to and just, you know, take off, so to speak. But, I mean, you know, life's not easy there, but if you really wanted to disappear, that'd be the place to go. Alright, so here we go. Now, this is a solitaire game, solitaire design, and again, similarities with those other games I already previously mentioned. So, as I say to my 4-year-old when we got to get rolling, let's kick the tires and light the fires, Daddy-o. Alright, first thing we do is we got to find out our mission, okay? And as you can see here, there are lots of charts and tables that we have, okay? Sorry, I might play with this thing a bit too much to start. I'm a little over eager with it. So first thing we got to find out is, and I'll move you slightly this way here, our strategic map. Where are we going? Where in the world is the problem brewing? So to speak. A little paraphrase there. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to roll the dice, find out where we're headed to. Strategically, we are going to, and we're going to put our marker there, we're going to go to the Congo. So that is where we're headed to here. This is our mission zone. This is where we're headed to. Okay? Once you know where your mission zone is, then you got to figure out the mission map. You got to figure out which one of the 6 maps are we headed to. Okay? So let's shift back over here and let's focus on the 6 mission maps. We'll need the strategic map again a little bit later, but right now we got to find out which one of these we are in. Now the Congo, there's mission map table to basically, depending on geography, that's the table you roll on. The Congo falls under West Africa, so we're going to roll under the Western Africa mission table to find out which one we're going to get. So where are we headed to? We are headed to hold on, what was, okay, there it is. Sorry, I lost the chart for a second. Alright, we are going to head to the mining town. So the mining town now is going to be our big focus for the rest of this, which actually works out nice because as you can see the strategic map is right next door. Okay, I won't focus a whole lot on the charts here, just here and there I might mention them. I'd rather focus on the action because of course you can pick that up, you know, wherever. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and we'll figure out what kind of problem we're about to encounter in this mining town in the Congo. Now, there are 6 possibilities here. There is a coup, there is hostage rescue, invaders, insurgents, warlord, and WMD. So let's see which one we're going to get. We are going to get... the board has come down from headquarters. Our mission, should we choose to accept, well, we have to accept it. This ain't no mission impossible. Is WMD, to which I reply WTF. Alright, so we know what our objective is. We know where we're headed to. Okay? Excuse me. So, we've got this all set. I like to use this die here. It's kind of like a marker on the side here to keep track of which one I'm at here. Alright? Okay, now, moving on here. Now that we know where we're going and what's up here, we got to get everything set up. Alright? We placed the Elon marker, which is just what it says, in the one space. That's really for the campaign game. This game can be played as just a series of missions if you just feel like pulling it out and playing a mission or two. And it can be strung together as a series of campaigns, too, to see how well you do. Okay? Okay, alright, starting Crisis. Now, this is one thing, and I'm going to have to move you guys around a little bit because the map is pretty big to kind of zone in on things. So, sorry about all the moving, but it's necessary. So, let's go up here. There we go. So, the first thing we're going to do is find out where the Crisis level begins. Now, the Crisis level, you'll probably notice from the track there, if you played Crete, looks very similar to the Allied command chart. Okay? Same kind of thing. But the Crisis level here is very important, because it can start anywhere along the track, but once it hits black, the mission is over, no matter what else is happening. So we got to get those WMDs secured and off the map, out of that mining town in the Congo, before all hell breaks loose, basically, is what 12 is telling us. So where is this going to start? Well, according to the starting Crisis level, we're going to roll a die. Okay, we're going to roll a die, and we're going to add 3. So 3 plus 3, we're going to start at level 6, which is medium. Okay, we'll talk about what that number means underneath a little bit later. Alright? Alright, now that we've got figured out where the Crisis level is going to be at, now we're going to find out how many ops we have. Now, the ops chart is above. The ops are basically the points you use to buy things and move things. Okay? So you're going to basically starting from your base, where the French Foreign Legion's at, and you're going to be sending down troops and equipment, ordering airstrikes, etc., etc. Okay? So the ops column tells us here that we have 15 plus the current Elon, which is only 1. So that's going to be 16. That was my hairy arm, wasn't it? Oh, well, sorry. I guess I lied. We're going to minimize it, though, with our new pointer. Let's put it that way. So that's where my starting ops are. Those are the points I'll use to build my initial force to go kick some butt and secure these WMDs. Okay? Alright, now we have to mobilize the OP4 units. Okay? Again, the chart tells us how many OP4 units will there be. Well, we're going to roll 2 dice and find out how many folks are we going to get. Oh! Oh, this is going to be painful. We have 11. We're going to have 11 enemy units we're about to deploy. Whew. Alright, so what we got to do now is we've got to take 11 enemy units and we got to put them down here on the table, and we're going to mix in the objective marker. Okay? Alright, so here we go. So let's see what I can get here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So far I got 5. I guess we can zoom out a little bit, make it a little easier, huh? There we go. So that's 5. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, and this one goes to 11, which of course with the objective marker will now be 12. Okay? Alright, now that I've got the 12, now we're going to mix in our objective marker. little mixing music. What would be appropriate? Shake it up. There we go. Woo, woo, shake it up. Dance all night. Play all day. Yeah, not anymore. Not at the age of 47. That doesn't work that way anymore. I'm sure most of you remember that too. Alright. And now we have to deploy them. Now if you look at the mining map here, every single hex in every single one, I should say mission map, the mining town one, has a 2-digit number on it. Okay, so that will tell you where you're going to deploy your forces. Okay, and we have different geography in each of these locations. The red here are critical buildings. They are important. Industrial, very important. Got some forest going on. We got a plaza. Airfield, also very important. We got our little river here. We've got some rough terrain as well too. Okay, and of course the other ones you can see up here at the bottom of the desert city. We've got some desert terrain too. Each one has its own, and of course there is the tech chart, naturally, all the way at the top. Alright, so here we go. So basically, in order to deploy all these guys, I'm going to try and do this as quick as I can. I'll try to do this in sets of 3. But basically, you're going to roll 2 dice, like this. And whatever the 2 10s and 1s is, that is the space you're going to deploy them to. You can deploy more than 1 unit in a space. That is perfectly legal to do so. Okay? But of course, with this, since there's 12... well, that's going to take a bit of time here. So let's roll like 5. And then that way we can deploy a whole boatload of people. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm dealing with a little bit of a cold here. Just a cold. So don't anybody panic. Okay, for those of you who enjoy my channel, I'm okay. Alright, so is that 5? 3, 5. Yeah. Okay, so 16. 22. How appropriate. From Casablanca. 25, 44, that reminds me of Stagger Lee, and then 53, WPGH, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Those of you who grew up in the area, you know what I'm talking about. VHF, baby. Alright, so there's 5 so far. Let's keep things rolling here as we continue to go along. Now, of course, like most solitaire games, it will take a little bit of time to set up. I did want to show you this. I know I usually have things set up, before I start initiating everything, but I was also thinking I might break this into a couple different videos because, I think it's important to see also how the game sets up, especially a solitaire game, because, when you play solitaire games, really, the procedure, how things are structured, is crucial. Okay. Alright, so here we go. So we got, what do we got? 2, 4, there's 5 more. Okay, so we got 23. Right there. 66. There's enemy units at the airfield. What? 52. Pickup. Very interesting movie. 15. So far, nobody's doubling down, though, in 54. But look, they are basically trying to block off the critical building. Is that where the WMD is? I don't know. Okay, got 2 more. Sorry. When I said I don't know, that made me think of chicka chicka boom boom. I have toddlers. Bear with me. Okay, we got 2 more numbers here. And we'll have all the OPFOR, the opposing forces, deployed. Okay, we got 32, so all around the industrial buildings, and then 14. And critical buildings. Look at that. The buggers grabbed almost everything except the plaza. Now, why is that important? Because at the end of the game, holding on to certain areas, like the critical buildings, like industrial spots, like the plaza, will give you victory points. Okay? Alright, so those folks have all been deployed. Now, I get to mobilize my initial force with my 16 op points. Okay, so let's back out here a little bit. Let's slide over to the strategic map because that's what we're going to do here. Okay, and of course above here is the chart which tells you what everything costs. Okay, for it. A big thing about this game that you have to be very careful about is the transportation costs. Okay, if you take a look, let me see, let me zoom in. Here we go. So if you take a look here, if you go from Calvi to Afghanistan, it costs you 4 transportation points, 4 op points, okay? If you travel down to, say, the Horn of Africa, then you're going to go in stages. 2 points to get to Chad, and another 2 points to get down to the Horn of Africa. That's 4 points too, okay? Some, of course, are closer than others, naturally. Over here at Sahel, you only have 2. Same thing with West Africa. So you have to build that into your ops points, okay? Now, you get follow-on op points for every single turn as you go. Okay, I guess West Africa was not so visible, huh? Sorry about that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and build my forces here and deploy them on the map. So let me zoom back out because we need not only the strategic map, but we also need these boxes up here because this is where you put some of your air and info war assets at. Okay, alright, so I'm going to go ahead, and this is a mining town, which means there's a lot of open ground, a little bit of urban area as well too. Okay, so I'm going to get 2 MAC transports to start because I'm going to need to fly people there constantly, and I might want to do it initially as quick as I can. So that's 4 points. I'm going to get 3, I'm pretty sure those are platoons, of paratroopers. Okay, so that's 7 points. So 16 minus 7, I'm down to 9 now. But I'm going to need, let's see, what do I need? I need 3 transportation points to get down there because here's 2 and here's 1 more down to the Congo, so that's 3. Okay? Alright. So I've got 9 points left. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pick up 2 drop zone markers for a half op point apiece. That'll take me down to 8. And then I'm also going to get a bunch of these recon units, which are a half point piece as well. So that's going to be 2 more points, taking me down to 6. So now I need 3, remember, to transport, so I can have 3 more ops points. What do I want to buy? Now I could buy by planning ahead. I could buy more land units to fly in again soon. I could buy airstrikes. I do have airstrikes too. So you know what? Let's buy one of those. So I'll buy attack airstrike for 2 points, and then I'll spend 1 last point here and go ahead and get a net war marker too, which can be used for information among other things. Okay, so that'll take me down to my 3. Alright. Okay, so I got 3 points left just in case. Now again, you get to roll for more op points at the start of every single turn, but we can't rely on that completely, so I'm going to go ahead and plan ahead just in case. Okay, you can gamble if you want. You can take it all the way down to 0 and gamble that you get a nice big die roll. But again, if I happen to roll snake eyes, I'm going to be screwed. And time is of the essence, because remember, the crisis chart will keep on moving. At the end of every turn, it will advance 1 level. So once it gets to 12, game over. Okay, so here we go. We're ready for our opening turn. All right. So let me go ahead. Let me see if I can tighten this up just a little bit. And let me slide over some of my dice. I have the red dice for the Op 4, folks. And I have my dice, my favorite dice, for my stuff. So let me see if I can tighten this up just a little bit. Like an old song from the 60s. Tighten up! Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to focus on the mission map, because the strategic map is really just about transporting folks down. Okay? So let's focus on the mission map, because that's really where the action is going to be in this game. Alright, so let's zoom in, and that way you can get a good feel of what the devil is about to go down. Alright, here we go. Now, there are no numbered turns. You just keep going until you either, A, the crisis track goes off to 12 box. As soon as it hits 12 box, it's over. Or until you evacuate the objective. Once you seize the objective, then you must get it airlifted out. In other campaign games, you can do it by water and land, but when you're doing just the individual missions, it's most likely going to be by air. Okay? So, first thing we do every single turn is find out how many follow-on ops I get. Now again, that's on the chart here at the top, and my follow-on ops are also 2 dice. So every single turn, I'm going to get a 2d6, and this is 8 added to my 3 I already have. This one goes to 11, so I've got 11 points. Alright, now, if I want, I could try to transport in some other troops, because I do already have the 2 MAC. but I would need 6 transportation points to make it work. You know what? Let's do that. Let me grab some more. Let me grab 1 platoon and 1 mechanized transport unit. So that is going to cost me 3 of my points. Okay, so 11 minus 3 is 8. I got 2 points left that I can spend if I want, however I want, because remember, I need 6 to transport. Each one of those transports is going to have 3 ops points to move things. And the transports can hold a variety of things. There's a chart in the rules listing how many ops points, or not ops points, but what the capacity is for each one depending on what you have. So for example, if you're moving a mechanized unit, you can only move 1 leg unit with it. Okay, so let's see, my last 2 points, I'm going to get some more air power in here. I'm going to get another TAC unit, because you can always use TAC air. And we'll take it down to 6, and I need those 6 for transportation. Okay, so that's the mobilization phase, what I just did there. You get your reinforcements, and this is the time when you refit. When your guys start to take a beating, you can also refit them and bring them back up to full strength. Okay, alright, so now we're down to the info war phase. Now the info war, you can do network warfare, which can be used to reduce the crisis track, to kind of stabilize things, to control the flow of information, if you will. And then of course you can use your ISR units to send around and do some recon and find out who's where. Alright, so you know what, let's do that. I'm just going to take some stabs here. I'm going to go ahead and put down on the critical buildings, and you know what, I want to find out what's at the airfield too, and the industrial there. Okay, alright, so now we're just going to roll single die, and basically there's 3 results: either success, which is a 3 through 6, a 2, which is a fail, okay, and then a 1, which is blowback. Now if you fail, you can keep the asset, you have it available for next turn. If it's blowback, you're going to lose these guys, and 3 through 6 is just what it says. So we'll just go top to bottom here. Okay, so here we go, we'll try at the top, and I rolled a 3, that's a success. So what's behind door number 1? Okay, it's an Op 4 infantry unit. Okay, not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. Oh, shoot. Well, this one down here, we won't know right now because that one failed. Alright, going down to this next critical building. Let's see what we get there. Oh, we got a 5. Hallelujah. Ah, another infantry unit with the little arrow on the side, which means they are air defense capable, enhanced. And then way down here at the airfield, let's find out what's happening there. What's shaking? Ah, of course it's a 2, so we don't know. Okay, so that was kind of hit and miss, so to speak. So, not so good. Now, I could use my info war marker to try and reduce the crisis track, but since the crisis track only starts at on the 6th spot, I'm not going to worry too much about that. That's not too bad. 6 is pretty good. Okay. So we're not going to worry about that. Okay, staging. Now staging, and I'm just going to slide over here. Staging is where we're going to move stuff from home base down to the Congo to prepare to bring it onto the map. And again, I'm going to focus on the mission map the most because that's where most of the action takes place, but I just want to show you what we're doing here now. Okay, so I'm going to spend my 6 points to transport my 2 MAC aircraft, and we're going to fly down with 3 platoons, and then we're going to fly down with a transport-capable unit, because of course I want to be able to pick up these WMDs and take them somewhere, and then of course another platoon, a heavily armed platoon. Let's just put it this way. Deadpool is like a child, a heavily armed child, so to speak. Alright, so we did the staging. Okay, this is also the point where once you secure your objective, whatever it happens to be, you will also then take it back to the strategic map. As soon as you do that, the game is over. Okay, there is a bonus on each one of the objectives. You might have noticed that when I showed you the counter, which will affect the crisis track and reduce it, which is important because at the end, when you tally victory points, you subtract the crisis level from the amount of victory points that you have earned. Okay, so now we're on the mission map, but there's no ground movement because, of course, we don't have anybody there yet. There's no enemy forces to reveal. Okay. Now, I could launch some airstrikes. You can only launch airstrikes on revealed units. So I've got 2 here. So let's go ahead and do that, just for fun. Let's go ahead and see if we can blow these guys up with our airstrikes. Okay. Now you can do airstrikes by themselves, like this, or you can do them with ground units that are also in the same hex. Okay. So the airstrike, the first thing you need to do is do air defense. Now, if the unit, like this one up here, does not have an arrow by it, and any unit in the stack, okay, then it's basically a 6 to cause trouble. If you have the arrow, the air defense capability, then it's a 5 or 6. So let's start at the top. Oh, it is a 6. Of course it is. So a 6 is abort. So unfortunately, these boys have to fly home. Okay. The other one, let's see how that goes, is a 3. So they missed. So here comes the airstrike coming in. And let's see what we can hit. Now, these are critical buildings, and when we look at the terrain effects chart, critical buildings have a -3 modifier. So that's going to reduce the fire factor down to 2. Okay? And then you have a combat results chart. Okay? Basically, each unit fires by itself. There are some exceptions to those rules with special units and such, which we'll talk about if and when we get to them, depending on who's on the map. So here we go. On the 2 column, it's a 2. Well, as you can imagine, lots of noise, but that's about it. Alright. Okay, now, so we did all those. Okay, now we can do the paradrop and landing phase. Now, I had originally planned on trying to land on the airfield. Okay, but what I did was, I bought, remember at the beginning, I bought these 2 drop zone markers because you can drop your paratroopers basically on any place here. However, if you buy the drop zone markers, then it's like a small team going in to get things organized, you know, blah, 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 you know the drill, okay, which makes it easier on your drop table, okay? The problem, of course, is where to drop. This is tricky business. You know what, since we got to secure the airfield anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put a drop zone here. Okay, right on this major road intersection, because then I can take these roads in any way I want and deploy. Okay, so I'm just going to use the 1 for now because I might want to use a second one later. Okay, stacking limits in the game are 6, so you must have 6 there. Okay. Oh, you know what? I just realized something. I can't take that transport unit yet because there's nobody on the zone. Okay, well, screw up by me. You can air land units. You can only airdrop paratrooper units with the gull wings. So you have to have somebody there already. So, oops, there's already been a snafu. You all know how that works. So let's go ahead and drop these guys here. And we'll do a die roll with a +1. So basically, we just need to make sure that our 4 units... Ah, what a waste. Oh well, worst things have happened, right? Could be worse. Could be raining. Oh wait, never mind. Let's see. Looks like everybody's on the ground, safe and sound. Yeah, only a roll of 1 would have caused anybody to be disrupted. Okay. Now next turn, what I'll do is I'll leave somebody here, and then I can bring that air mobile unit in, or that mechanized unit in as well. Okay, so that was a screw up already by me. So we've already had a snafu. Lovely. Fubar. Yes, totally fubar. Alright, so I've got people on the ground. Alright. Now, ground combat, well, we don't have anybody fighting yet. Events phase. Now, on the crisis track, okay, you may have noticed before there's a number underneath. That tells you how many times to roll on the event chart. And those rolls are going to tell you what the enemy basically is up to. Okay, so I'm going to roll 2, and again it's a 10s and 1s. So there we've got 56, and we got 41. So let's see what that's going to get us. So 56, looking at the chart, is Op 4 Uprising. Oh Lord have mercy. So roll 1 die, pick that number of Op 4 units and place them per random deployment. Shoot. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. 6. 6. 2, 4, and 6. So 6 more enemy units are about to come into play. Okay. Now what I like to do, just so I remember how many events I've rolled and stuff, I'll roll more. I'll roll them, but you have to execute them in order. So I'll roll them and then execute one and then do whatever the next one says. So let me see if I can quickly breeze through this. 65. Whoops. Those guys are anxious to get to the enemy, clearly. Alright, 65. 54. Okay, so we have stacking. By the way, the French Foreign Legion is limited to 6 units in a hex. The Op 4 is unlimited stacking. So everybody and their mother can show up in a hex if they feel the need. Blackjack, we got 21 here. So way over there. On that side of the map. This one goes to 11. So those guys come in on the map now. 32. Up. Another one's going to have more than 1 unit stacked. Now, of course, that's good for us, too, also in some ways, because if we manage to get some recon on those, then we'll find out everything that's in that hex. We don't have to do it by individual units, so that's kind of nice. And then we got 66 again, which means those Jags reinforced the airfield is what that means. Holy cow, look at all the units that are there. Wait, hold on. I'm getting a message from Lieutenant Brody on the ground. Lieutenant Martin Brody. He's sending a message back. You're going to need a bigger force. Yeah, I can see that. So, as you can see, I'm going to need those Op 4 points. Or Op points. I'm going to need more. So my screw up with the mechanized unit is a big screw up right now because this whole place is about ready to go BSC. Alright, the other event we rolled was a 41. What is that? Oh, Lord have mercy. This is a nightmare beginning. Well, sort of. Okay? 41 is an Op 4 offensive. So, there's good news and bad news. Which would you like first? Most people seem to like bad news first. And then they can have the good news second to make them look forward to something. So, if you get the offensive event, okay, here's the bad news. It's going to be an offensive. Okay? However, the good news is only revealed units do this. So we only have 2 units that we revealed, which is good. Because, of course, if we had revealed more before, we would, of course, be sending more troops over. Now, if there's multiple hexes, then it's whoever's closest. Op 4 units always move 1 apiece, except mechanized units do not move into mesas or mountains, I believe is the limitation on that. Let me just double check real quick. But I'm pretty sure. Yes. Op 4 mech. I'm sorry, mech units. No mountain, no mesa for the mech. Okay? So, now fortunately both of these units only have movement point of 1. But these guys are running across the plaza. And then these guys, of course, will hop up here, which they abandoned the critical building, which is nice, but not like I can grab it right now. Okay? So, that's the events. Alright? Now, next step on the turn is the enemy counterattack phase. Well, we don't even have a battle yet, so we can't have a counterattack. You have battles whenever units are in the same hex in this game. Okay? And the last thing we do is we bump the crisis track up by 1 each and every turn. So now we're up to space 7, level 7, if you will, on our way to 12. And now we just start all over again. But again, there's no numbered turns, because you just keep playing until either the track hits 12, or until the mission is completed. Okay, now, let me roll, see how many extra points I get this turn. I get 7 more. Okay, that's not too bad, that's not too bad. Alright, now, idiot that I am, I still have this mech unit, so I'm going to have to spend 3 of the 7 to get them down there. So I'm going to spend 2 to get another strong paratrooper unit. That'll take me down to 5. I got 2 points left. Now you can save your op points. You don't have to spend them either. So, boy, this is going to be ugly though. And I almost do want to get some more units in there. Maybe I should get some more air units in there too. I could send a couple of drones in to do some strikes once we reveal things. let's do that. Let's spend our other 2 points on 2 drones. So I'll have 2 TAC air units and I'll have 2 drones to use, and that'll take me down to 3, and that'll be enough to transport my next round of forces onto the map. Okay? So again, I figured out my new op points, 2d6 in this case. Sometimes it's just 1d6, and that can be very, very aggravating, especially if you roll low. 2d6 isn't too bad most of the time. Alright, so we mobilized. I'm not going to refit. Info war. Well, yeah, I'm going to send out these guys, and I need to find out who's where and who's doing what. Alright, so let me go down here to the airfield. I'd like to find out what these guys are up to, because there's 2 of them there now. And let's do this one here too, because that's 2. Now you can put multiple ISR units in a space if you want, but I'm just putting one at a time here. And let's find out who's up here. Okay, so we'll start down here with the airfield, because of course I want to know. Yes, it's a 6. Excellent. So who is there? Well, there is an infantry unit. And there's a deception. So, ha ha, the laugh's on us. Sort of. Yeah. Alright, let's go to that 2-stacker. Let's see if we can find out there. Hopefully. It's a 5. Also a success. Oh, look at that. We found the WMD already. Whoa. I'll tell you what, this is about my 5th or 6th play of this now, maybe even 7th. That's the earliest I've found the objective. Now, the bad news is this. When you find the objective, you have to add 3 OP4 units to the hex. Now, if it was found by troops entering, by Legion troops entering, you put them face up. But if it was found by recon like this, then they're going to be face down. So I know the WMD's there. I know there's that 221 infantry there. But I have no idea what else is in that hex. Now, I can send another drone next turn to find out what in the wide world of sports is going on there. But, yeah, that won't be until, well, next turn. And remember, time is not your friend in this game. Okay, time is judged by the track, the crisis track. And when that sticker hits 12, kind of like midnight, right, Cinderella? Then that's it. It's all done. Alright, so we'll leave the objective at the bottom with some of the green sticking out to remind us, and then I've got these guys with a bunch of unknowns down there. Alright. That 2-stacker over here by the industrial building, no good. As far as we know, there's nobody home. And let's see, the very last one was a 4, so that was a success. And what did we find here? Another infantry unit. Okay. Alright, not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. Not great, though, either, to be honest about it all. Alright, now I could use one of my net war markers to drag down the crisis track, but I'm going to leave that alone for right now. Alright, ground movement. Alright, now, I could go charging in, guns blazing, not knowing who's here, and I could just go running in there, reveal those guys, because I do have air units. Remember, I got 2 drones, 2 TAC air. So I could go ahead and launch a bunch of strikes to support my boys on the ground. Okay. However, this early in the game, because I want the victory points for the critical buildings, the plaza, and the industrial buildings, which the industrial are on the other side of the city, then I'm going to have to protect the WMD from the enemy while I proceed to do that. So I got a couple of options here. However, if it looks like the crisis track is about to run off, then I could try to evacuate it sooner. And of course, if I don't evacuate it in time, I don't get the victory points. So, you know what? Just for the fun of it, let's do that. Let's go ahead. Oh, can we get there, though? Let's see. This is urban light terrain here. Let me see. Urban light for leg is a movement point cost of 1. So, yeah, I could go 1-2 with almost all these guys. But remember, I got to leave somebody behind, too. But again, I've got a lot of air power ready. So, you know what? Screw it. Let's jump into here and find out who's there. All right. Once more into the breach, dear friends. That's the only ground movement I'm doing. Now, when you do enter a space like this, you have the reveal. So let's see what the big reveal is. So who else is here? Okay, we got a pretty strong tech unit. You got another infantry unit, and I think this is just a guerrilla unit there, along with this infantry unit. And of course all my boys. Alright. So that's what we got. Okay? Alright, now I can launch my airstrikes. And of course I'm going to support my guys. And I don't think, let me just double check. Because some games you use airstrikes a lot and some you don't. I just want to make sure there's no limit. I don't believe there is. Let's see. One per turn. Nope, it doesn't say that you can only put one per hex. So you know what? We're loading up. We're loading up airstrikes. We're loading up drones. Here we come, boys and girls. Sam and Dave, hold on. I'm coming. Okay. All right. So we'll launch our air units into here, and then of course everything in the hex. For just that one time, we'll do the air defense roll. Okay. Now, let's see, first of all, we have to have a 5 or 6 to have any effect at all. It's a 2, so no worries there. Alright, so here we go. We're going to launch our 2 airstrikes with 5s, and we got our drones. So here we go. Our 2 strikes with 5s. We got a 3, okay, which is useful. We've got another 3, also useful. We've got a 4, which is a 2. That's not going to be useful no matter what. And we got a 5 with a 4. Okay. All right. Now we are hitting an light industrial area. So the light industrial area. Hold on. Here we go. Urban light -1. So actually, that 4s turns into 3s, and guess what? These 3s now are worthless. Okay. However, the 1-4 turned into a 3 and still rolled a 5, which scores 1 damage point. Now, all Op 4 units are 1 step in the game. All Legion units are 2. Okay. Now, to decide what is hit here, you're going to basically take a look at the middle number. Okay. That middle number is the engagement number. First number is attack and defense. Second engagement. Third is movement. The higher the middle number, the better your chance of firing first in a battle. Okay? We'll talk about that here because we're going to have a ground battle here in just a few minutes. So I've got a 2, I've got a 2, I've got a 3. So by the rules, you are to eliminate the highest one that's valued there. So there goes the 3. The 3 is eliminated from the game to be counted as victory points later on at the end of combat. Okay? Yep. The highest engagement rating. And if there's a tie, then you choose. Okay. So, well, the airstrike was kind of helpful, but not exactly. You know, I figures those flyboys, you know how that is. You guys are boots on the ground. We know. Lots of razzle-dazzle. I'm just playing, of course, because I know some of you out there, you know, different veterans, but I also know how that works. I've never served myself, of course, but I have huge respect for all of you that have, but I also know, you know, how that kind of, you know, rivalry, both fun and maybe sometimes not so fun, goes. Okay? So we did all of that, so we're good to go. All right? Now, time to drop in our new units here, okay, which we staged before, earlier in the turn. So we're going to put them on the airfield because we have friends on the airfield. So now that means I can bring down that mechanized unit, which then can grab the WMDs. Oh, sorry. Got to turn our airplanes back. The drones, of course, are one and done. That shouldn't surprise anybody. Okay, now ground combat. So let's go ahead and let's mark our ground combat hex, which is right here. Okay. Which I always like to mark with my glow-in-the-dark green dye there. And let me get everybody set up down here. And then we'll go over ground combat, I hope, before my battery dies, because my battery is pretty low. I didn't realize I hadn't charged it. So let me drop down here. Okay, here we go. Alright, so now, ground combat. Okay, ground combat is a single round, and you basically organize units by their engagement rating, which is the middle number. Okay? Units that are the same engagement rating will fire at each other and fire before other units too, okay, inflicting damage. This is not simultaneous combat, okay. Depending on the terrain, sometimes the defender will have the advantage if there's two of the same number. Like if there's two, everybody has 3 units, which we don't have here, of course. You'll have that determining factor, so you have to check the chart, see who has the tactical edge given the terrain. So like open terrain, the attacker does, but like the critical buildings, the defender does, okay? And also a modifier as well, okay? Now in this case, we don't have that problem because we have nobody in the same level. So we're going to start here first with this strong 4-level unit, okay? And if you do have 2 in the same level, typically the defender will fire first, but not always. Okay, again, you have to check that too. So it's unlike some other games. All right. So here we go. We're going to fire. Now the battle is in light urban, so it's a -1 shift. Okay, on the chart. All right. So that is going to drop that down to the 3 column. Okay. Oh, nice. We got a 6. Awesome. So now we'll do that damage right away. Okay, so the 3 column of 6 is 1. So we'll get rid of one of these guys here. It's our choice. They are destroyed and they go into the dead pile to count as victory points. Okay, now these 2 guys here will both be on the 2 column because again, -1. Okay, but again, you want to roll sequentially because there are retreat results too. Okay, so you might end up retreating a unit before you can hit it, and that can be annoying. All right, in this particular case, though, I rolled a 3 and a 2. Okay, on the 2 column, that gets me nothing. So that's that. Okay? Now the enemy will get to roll. Alright? Now these guys here only have 1 factor to fire with. Both of them do. So we'll go ahead on the 1 chart. And basically, on the 1 column, you need a 5 or a 6. First one rolled a 4. So, and the second one rolled a 5. Okay. So let's see what the 5 gets us. The 5 gets us a retreat. So now I get to choose which one of my guys I want to retreat. Alright, so I'll go ahead and take these guys and we'll retreat them out 1 hex. There. Now that's it. Combat is over for this round. Okay? Combat can carry over to the Op 4 counterattack phase, and if there's still units engaged in the hex, then it will continue again in the Legion combat phase on the next turn. So notice you can't leave a space, but you also might have noticed, hopefully, when I was moving people around here, that there are no zones of control either, as well, in the game. Okay? Alright, so we're going to take everybody, put them back on the map, take my grinning skull, and move him off. So the WMDs are still very well defended at this point, but I'm hoping to bring in more troops next turn to basically pry them from the cold dead hands of the enemy. Okay. Now we have the Op 4 event phase, so we'll roll those 2 dice. And let me see if I can squeeze in the rest of this turn before my battery dies. So, we've got 52 pickup and 55. Alright, so let's start with 52. 52 is Op 4 reinforcement. Now that's not as drastic as it sounds, because when you do the reinforcements, you only get 1. Okay? So we'll pull the 1 unit out, and of course, just like we have been doing, we'll roll the 10s and the 1s, and that one will show up in hex 35, which is right here. Terrific. They're trying to block the roads now. Well, can't say I blame them, right? The other one is 55. Oh, God. 55 is an Op 4 uprising. So now we're going to roll that many and deploy that many. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be 5 more units. Holy cow. Okay. This is about to get ugly, I fear. Alright. Now, at this point, I don't know if it brings my battery down to its last legs, but I know it's been a while. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it here. I will say one thing that's also important to keep in mind here with this game, like the Crete game, is that when you switch combat phases. Okay, like a little bit ago, I had that -1 modifier to the French Foreign Legion units. When the Op 4 units will counterattack, then it switches over. Okay, so for example, in the Op 4 counterattack phase, because they're going to be attacking in this, you know, urban light area with all these buildings, they'll be the ones with the -1 modifier to their die roll. So it's whoever is the defender at the moment, depending on who is the attacker at that point in time. Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. Hold on, now that I said it out loud, I just want to make sure. Give me 1 second here. I'm pretty sure that's right. You know, I will have to double check and make sure, but I'm almost 100% sure that it's just like it is just like the other one there. Okay. Let me just double check here real quick. Let me just check and make sure. See if I can find it real quick. That's the one thing about this game that's a bit annoying, is that the rulebook is not very well organized. There's lots of little things scattered all over God's creation. It's a little bit of a scavenger hunt. Yeah, okay, no, I'm right. It says right here, 21.4, Op 4 counterattacks. Each combat follows the standard combat procedure, which we just went through, okay, except the Op 4 force is the attacker, and the RAP force is the defender. So you do switch it each time. So it is like Crete 1941. So again, if you like that game, or you liked Objective Havana, which I know did not get as much attention as Crete did, because Crete actually sold out. They had to do another printing. And I understand they jacked the price up majorly, which is Bullshit, to use a good German word. So anyway, what I'm about to do here is, remember, put down 5 more units using that random 10s and 1s method. Yeah. This is about to get UGL. I ain't got no alibi. This is going to be ugly. Okay, so there's the general gist of it. We went through a full turn. Okay, we're pretty close to going through another whole turn here. We'd have the counterattack. But this does take some time to play. I don't know what the estimated time is on it and stuff, but it's probably taken me a couple of hours each time to play each mission. Okay, and again, you can string them all together if you want into a campaign game. I haven't looked at the campaign rules. I know there's been some questions about them over on Consim World, but for me right now, I probably won't do a formal review of this game, but to nutshell review, right now, if I were to close out the year and say, okay, here's my 10 best and 10 worst, this would definitely find a spot. I'm not sure how high a spot, but this would definitely find a spot in my top 10 best of the year. This has been a lot of fun to play. It's a blast. If you like the system, like I said, from Crete and stuff, you'll really enjoy this. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Now I lost my train of thought. Where was I going with this? Oh, it's definitely, this game is well on its way to earning my 3F rating, which is fast, furious, and fun, because that's what this is. It is a blast. All right, on that happy note, I'm going to zoom back out here and show you the whole map again. So, this has been Tim Korchner from Bare Bones Wargaming, saying my battery light is flashing, so I'm almost out of time. I will see you again next time from I don't know where, but this has definitely been a fun game. I really do enjoy this. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.